Speaking of really good games, Missouri versus Kansas State was a phenomenal game. This is a really good game.
Yeah.
And I'll get into it a little bit. You start out the game, right? I had some action on Kansas State first half -2.5. Awesome. Did not hit. But I'll tell you this, after that first drive, when Will Howard just went and just was seeding up everyone on Missouri, I'm like, whoa, okay, Will Howard's a dude. All right. He is a dude. And uh Missouri responded. And you know what they had that Kansas State really kind of lacked in this game? And that's sometimes the difference in these games was explosive plays. Are we going to rely on Brady Cook to make those plays all year? Maybe not. But Luther Burden was phenomenal. Luther Burden was fantastic, and they needed to get him going, and they need to keep him going, right? Uh, Missouri had a tough time running the ball. Kansas State, 8 tackles for loss in that game. I don't think Kansas State's defense played all that bad. Again, explosive plays kind of killed them. I think if they were to play this game again, I would still take Kansas State and the
Yep.
points. uh, but credit Missouri, man. They honestly look like the second best team in the SEC East right now. They actually have the best win in the SEC East. They actually might have the best win in the entire SEC right now. That's
That's
not
not a high
crazy.
bar to climb, but that's not to take any credit away from Missouri. I mean,
Yes.
this is an awesome win. I think you and I still did believe and still believe to a certain extent that Kansas State can make some noise in the Big 12 play. Especially, it was nice to see Brady Cook kind of put it all together. I mean, he ran the ball well early in the game. Um, Cody Schrader gave him a little help on the ground, but it was outside of one big play. He averaged, he had nine attempts for what is that, 22 yards. So that's not really what you're looking for. But like you said, Luther Burden was a stud. Theo Wees finally stepped up a little bit as well. Mookie Cooper, right, had a couple big explosive plays. Um, yeah, the guy. I was just waiting for Kansas State to just pull away, waiting for it, and it never happened. And they got in the fourth quarter up by 7, and it's like, okay, when are you gonna make this a double digit game? When are you gonna really, really put this game away? And they didn't. They let Missouri hang around at home, always dangerous thing to do. And then a hell of a kick to that. I mean, the Missouri kicker, the guy that missed the kick against Auburn, that lost in the game last year, was a gimme. It was Blair Walsh in the playoffs against Seattle.
Nervous, baby.
Yeah, and he fucking nailed that SEC record, I believe. I mean, that was awesome. I'm really happy for Drinkowich, Brady Cook. Yeah, like you said, they're right in it to be the second best team in the SEC East this year, because obviously it's not Tennessee and Florida. Even though they had a nice, impressive win, I don't trust them long term. Yes, it's anybody's game in the SEC East besides Georgia, but yeah, credit Missouri, credit Brady Cook. That it was a good crowd too there. It looked like a really nice crowd.
Yeah.
It always
But
is though.
there were, again, credit Missouri. I still also saw good things from Kansas State as well. I know Kansas State fans are probably hating hearing this because they lost to Missouri, which, by the way, the SEC needed this win. They did badly. But back to Kansas State. I think Will Howard was okay. He tough interception there, but I thought he was fine. And honestly, this still is probably my. If I was to power rate these guys, it'd probably be my third best team in the Big 12 still. So
Yeah.
I'm not
Oh,
gonna
absolutely.
I'm not gonna drop them. I still thought they were fine defensively. They were okay. Like explosive plays. Sometimes teams hit explosive plays, and that's just what happens. Now, are there things you can do to limit those? For sure. Um, sometimes defenses don't have all those things figured out. Um, by week 3, and then your Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year prediction. He went down with an injury. I think he came back in that game. I'm trying to remember if I remember seeing him, but early on he was having a gigantic impact on the game, and those couple drives, like those intermediate drives there, like at the end of the first quarter, end of the second quarter, they probably could have used him there. Probably could
Yeah.
use him there, but needless to say, this was an awesome game. Again, just because Missouri's not ranked doesn't mean that it can't be a good game. I mean, the line was under a touchdown in Columbia. Gosh, Eli Drinkwitz needed that for sure. He needed that.
He did. I'll say this last about Kansas State in terms of game script. I mean, Will Howard had 39 pass attempts, and I think he's a really good player. You do too, but Kansas State's a team that likes to run the ball. They got two complimentary backs that are pretty darn good. Will Howard can scamper himself as well a little bit, being his big bodied. With that O line, you want to be able to run the ball and not have to rely on Will Howard 39 times dropping back. Um, it wasn't his fault, I don't think at all. But I think if you had to go do that game over again, you would have liked to establish the run a little bit and stick with it. Especially in that fourth quarter. I mean, that's when you should lean on teams with that 10-point lead, and you didn't, right? But so we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Or seven. I'm sorry, it was a 7-point lead. Whatever.
Yeah. Yep. Third quarter too, but fourth quarter. Yeah, but